Breaking news from Manila, Philippines. Scientists have just announced a discovery that shakes the very foundations of human history. Deep within Calao Cave, a single fossilized footbone has been unearthed. It's small, but it tells a story that changes everything. This bone belonged to a previously unknown species, Homo luzonensis. It lived on Luzon over 50,000 years ago, long before recorded history. The islands were never connected to the mainland, so these early humans must have crossed open sea. This suggests a level of intelligence and daring we never expected from ancient hominins. They were explorers, not just survivors. The discovery sent shockwaves through the scientific community. It challenged the simple story of a single migration and origin. The Filipino story, it turns out, is a tangled web, far more complex than we imagined. The earth beneath the Philippines held secrets, lost peoples, forgotten journeys. The genetic journey of the Filipino people is not a straight line. It's a tapestry woven from many threads, from many times. And Homo luzonensis is just the beginning. The story we thought we knew, one group, one journey, was wrong. The Philippines has always been a crossroads, a place where different peoples met, mingled, and moved on. This tiny bone is a reminder. History is always deeper and stranger than we think. The Filipino identity is rooted in ancient mysteries. Every new discovery forces us to rewrite the story. The past is not dead. It's alive, waiting to be uncovered. And with each find, we get closer to understanding who we really are. The journey has only just begun. For years, the accepted theory was simple. The Filipino people descended from Austronesian farmers who sailed from Taiwan 4,000 years ago. These skilled seafarers brought rice, canoes, and their language, spreading across the islands. The out of Taiwan model painted a picture of a single, sweeping migration. Austronesians were thought to have replaced the scattered hunter-gatherers already living in the Philippines. Linguistic and archaeological evidence seemed to support this tidy story. It was taught in schools, accepted by scholars, and became the foundation of national identity. But science never stands still. Advanced genetic sequencing revealed a much more complicated past. DNA from modern Filipinos showed multiple layers, multiple migrations, and traces of ancient peoples. The out of Taiwan model wasn't wrong, but it was only part of the story. The real history is a mosaic, not a straight line. The Filipino people are the product of many journeys, not just one. The story is richer, deeper, and far more surprising than we ever imagined, and it's still being rewritten. Long before the Austronesians, the Philippines were already home to people. In Palawan's Tabun Cave, archaeologists found a skullcap, Tabun Man, dating back 47,000 years. These were modern humans, Homo sapiens, living through the Ice Age. Palawan was still an island, so their ancestors had to cross the sea. They were hunter-gatherers, crafting stone tools, hunting, and gathering along the shore. The discovery of Tabun Man proved humans reached the Philippines much earlier than thought. They weren't the first. Homo luzonensis was there even earlier, but they were our species. For thousands of years, these early people lived in isolation, adapting to their environment. Their DNA didn't vanish. It was absorbed and passed down. Traces of their lineage remain in today's indigenous groups. They are the deep roots of the Filipino family tree. Their story is one of resilience and adaptation. The old theory said they were replaced by Austronesians. Genetics tells us they became part of the mix. The echoes of these first Filipinos still resonate today. Their legacy lives on in every Filipino. There's another ancient presence in Filipino DNA, the Denisovans. We know them only from a few bone fragments in Siberia, but their genetic legacy is strongest in Southeast Asia and Oceania. The Atamagbukon, an indigenous group in the Philippines, have the highest Denisovan ancestry in the world, up to 5%. This means that when early humans arrived, Denisovans or their relatives were already here. They met, interbred, and left a permanent mark on the gene pool. Denisovan genes may have helped early Filipinos adapt to local environments. Filipino DNA is a direct link to a lost branch of the human family. It's a reminder that Homo sapiens once shared the planet with other intelligent hominins. The story of the Filipino people includes these ghost populations. Their legacy lives on, silently, in millions of people today. The Filipino genome is one of the world's most fascinating. It's a living record of ancient encounters. Our origins are stranger and richer than we ever imagined. The past is written in our genes. The earliest Filipinos were masters of survival and the sea. They were nomadic hunter-gatherers, living off the land and water. Their knowledge of plants, animals, and the tides was unmatched. They built simple rafts or canoes, crossing between islands long before the Austronesians. Archaeological finds, stone tools, shells, animal bones offer glimpses into their lives. As the Ice Age ended, rising seas isolated groups on new islands. This isolation drove the evolution of unique cultures and genetic traits. The story of the Filipino people is about adaptation, not just arrival. These first seafarers laid the foundation for everything that followed. Their legacy is survival, ingenuity, and connection to the sea. The journey began with them. The Philippines is an archipelago of over 7,000 islands. After the last ice age, rising seas separated populations, creating natural laboratories for diversity. Isolation led to the evolution of hundreds of languages and distinct cultures. A single ancient language, scattered across islands, became many. Over centuries, new words, pronunciations, and traditions emerged. Today, the Philippines is home to over 170 languages and countless unique cultures. Each island developed its own myths, art, and beliefs, shaped by its environment. Genetic drift amplified differences, making neighboring groups genetically distinct. The sea was both a highway and a wall, connecting and dividing. The result, a human landscape as varied as the islands themselves. Diversity is the heart of the Filipino story. Geography shaped identity. The archipelago became a mosaic of peoples. 4,000 years ago, the Austronesians arrived, bringing farming and advanced seafaring. They spread rapidly, their language and culture becoming dominant. But the land was not empty. Diverse hunter-gatherer groups were already there. The meeting of farmers and foragers was complex. Sometimes conflict, sometimes coexistence, often intermarriage. Their DNA blended, creating a new Filipino identity. Most Filipinos today carry both Austronesian and ancient hunter-gatherer ancestry. The amount varies by group, but the mix is everywhere. The Austronesian expansion was not a replacement, but another layer. The Filipino story is one of admixture, not erasure. Two worlds came together, shaping a unique people. The past lives on in every Filipino's genes. The islands became a crossroads once again. The story kept evolving. The Philippines became a crossroads of cultures and genes. Trade brought Chinese, Indian, and Arab influences long before Europeans arrived. Chinese traders settled, married locals, and left their mark on language and cuisine. Indian culture arrived through trade, leaving traces in scripts and folklore. Arab traders introduced Islam to the south, creating sultanates. Spanish colonization brought Christianity, new laws, and new DNA. The Manila-Acapulco galleon trade added Mexican and Latin American ancestry. Each wave left its mark on the Filipino gene pool. Modern Filipinos carry ancestry from Southeast Asia, China, Europe, and the Americas. The Filipino face tells this story, a blend of many streams. The nation is a living record of migration, trade, and adaptation. The Filipino is not one thing, but many. What does it mean to be Filipino? It's not a single bloodline or origin. To be Filipino is to embody one of the world's most complex genetic histories. It's to carry echoes of Denisovans, ancient seafarers, Austronesian voyagers, and global traders. The Filipino is a child of survival, adaptation, and blending. The mountains and islands preserved ancient DNA and traditions. The strangeness of Filipino DNA is its strength, a story of resilience and openness. Every Filipino carries this epic journey within. It's written in their blood, spoken in their languages, and seen in their faces. The story continues with every generation, a living testament to a global heritage. The journey is far from over.